the new old people are gonna suck. And let me explain what I mean by that before anybody gets upset. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm not talking about the people that you've raised or the ones that you've raised that are now raising other little ones. I'm talking about them. I'm pointing to my left. I don't know what it looks like when you look at it, but I'm pointing to my left. I'm talking about the left side, because here's the problem. They are raising morons. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. They know it. They just keep doing it. When you look at what's going on in our country, it is blatantly obvious who could survive anything and who couldn't. And I don't want to be that person, right? But I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory that if you can't tell the difference between a man and a woman, you're probably not going to make it when things get really rough in life, right? Like if you have a mental, physical meltdown because I won't call you a cat or a dog, or I won't, call you a man when you're clearly a woman, or vice versa, you're not going to do very well as you get older. All right. I saw this title, I guess is what that's what I'm going to title this, but I saw this title when I was scrolling YouTube this morning. It was a comedy thing that popped up from like 6 or 7 years ago. I don't remember whose it was, but the title on it said, "The new old people are gonna suck." And I started laughing immediately. I didn't click on it. I just started laughing, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually very accurate. Because if you look at how do I want to phrase this? If you look at what we have to look forward to based off of what we're being shown from the left, old people are going to be so incredibly stupid. Now, not all of them, obviously. You still have the right side who will have brain cells and common sense and morals and ethics and all those fun things and know how to take care of themselves and do things, whereas the left, not so much. But what's going to outweigh the other, honestly? Republicans are probably going to outweigh Democrats, because Republicans aren't having sex changes and, not being able to have babies and stuff like that. So I feel like maybe we're safe. But either way, I was thinking about it, and my husband and I were talking this morning over coffee, and I was like, okay, well, John Fetterman, let's look at this from a standpoint. We were talking about who is the Democrat, an older Democrat that Republicans even like, and we were having a very hard time thinking of any from the past or anything else like that. And so I asked Google, because I wanted its AI answer, and I want y'all to know the first person they said that Republicans love that happened to be a Democrat, it said Joe Biden. I was like, listen, this is how I know that your little AI responses are clearly paid for by the left, because not a single Republican can give a half a flying fuck about Joe Biden, right? Anyway, we came up with John Fetterman. I talk to you guys about him all the time. Pennsylvania, John Fetterman. We talked about what happened after a stroke and how people are like, clowning him because he wears sweatpants and sweatsuits and t-shirts and stuff to things. And he's like, you know what? I don't care. I'm here to be comfortable. But he has always said he votes for America, not for party, right? He was talking about how the Democrats keep shooting down, basically opening the government back up because, I don't know, they're pissy and they refuse to let Trump have anything, or the Republicans have anything, or obviously the American citizens have anything, because they're holding out so they can give everything to illegal immigrants. That's your Democrats, not y'all, but theirs, whatever. But John Fetterman, he was like, no, I voted yes to open everything back up so that people could at least get paid. He voted yes so that federal employees and people, firefighters, policemen, whatever else, can get paid. And you have every other Democrat voting no for it. And I was like, okay, so John Fetterman may be the last Democrat, like older one, that people could, possibly care about or agree with. Because then I was like, but then after him, who do you have? Everybody that's younger, they're trash. And then I started thinking about Jasmine Crockett. And I, honest to goodness, y'all don't laugh at me, I thought she was like in her 30s. And I think it's because black don't crack. I mean, black men and women, generally speaking, as they get older, look fabulous and will look, half their age forever. So Maxine Waters, I mean, she's got to be pushing 200 at this point, because she looks aged, right? Anyway, I don't know if y'all saw the interview. She was there trying to fix her wig, and she was just having such a hard time. And I was like, oh, bless it, honey. You should probably just go ahead and step down from whatever your position is. Anyway, but Jasmine Crockett, she is older than I am. She's 45 years old. I'll be 44 in January. And I was like, how can you be older than me and still be dumb as dirt? Like, I have my moments. I'm fully aware. I have my moments where I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, the sharpest crayon in the whatever the phrases are supposed to be there. I'm fully aware of it. It is what it is. It happens, right? But you have people like Jasmine Crockett that will be the old people one of these days. You're going to have 45-year-old Jasmine Crockett be 80, 90 years old, and they are going to be absolute morons. If you're this stupid at 45, is there any hope for you? That's what I've been trying to figure out. I realized late 30s, early 40s that my way of thinking was changing, because y'all know, reformed libtard here, I'll tell you all the time, I used to agree with a lot of stuff on the left, but it's because I was brainwashed by what was being shown to me by the left, whether it was on the news or in TV shows, music, movies, books, even, like all kinds of stuff. And as I got older, late 30s now into where I'm at, I'm like, no, this is not how I am. This is not what I want. This is not what I want for my child, my future grandchildren, their children. This is not how we should be. Boys cannot be girls. Girls cannot be boys. All these different things. But Democrats, for some reason, don't grow up. It's like they want to live in Never Never Land and, Peter Pan out forever and never have any kind of, morals or ethics or anything. It's very weird to me. But adults, the future old people are going to suck. I could not think of a better way to phrase how I feel about what is being raised on the left right now. And it's unfortunate because a lot of these kids that are going to be those old people in the future, if they continue to listen to the ones raising them wrong and paying attention to mainstream media and the movies and the TV shows and everything else, and never for a second realize they can think for themselves and step outside of that disgusting little box that they're in, thanks to whoever's raising them, they're going to be stupid ass adults. They're going to be horrible adults. They're not going to know that there is a better way out there. We was talking to my daughter earlier, and I was telling her a lot of her friends, because they are 16, so a lot of her friends parrot what their parents say. So a lot of her friends are considered full-on liberal, whatever, Democrats, whatever. Our daughter, not so much, because she talks to us, we have conversations, she can see both sides, because she has to be able to see both sides to understand any of it. If you're only looking at one side and never the other, you can't get the full picture, and the full picture is definitely necessary to make informed decisions, opinions, whatever else, right? So we're talking to her about it, and I was like, hey, listen, when you get older, do you think if anything were to happen, you could, take care of yourself? Like, whatever. She goes, well, I know how to cook. I know how to read. I know how to do a lot of these other things. She goes, and I'm not going to be like emotionally, how does she phrase it? Emotionally broken or emotionally busted? I don't remember what word she used. I think she said emotionally busted, because these kids now, they call, if somebody that they find unattractive, they call them chopped. That's the new one. Oh, bro's chopped. I'm like, wait, is that good or bad? She's like, ew, no. And I'm like, I have no idea where these words come from, but okay, you do you, boo. But anyway, she knows that there is a difference between right and wrong. She knows that having, sympathy or empathy for somebody is okay, but it doesn't mean that you have to agree with them. You can see their point of view and still know that they are wrong. It doesn't mean you have to be awful to them or anything like that. Well, hopefully we're raising her right. I mean, that's what every parent hope is, obviously. But when we were talking about it, like, we talked to her about John Fetterman. We talked to her about Jasmine Crockett. She knows all the names. She knows Warren and Sanders and Schumer and Trump, obviously, and Vance and anybody else you can think of. She knew who Charlie Kirk was. We've had this conversation here before. She knows a lot of who is who and what is what. And as she gets older, she will hopefully stay on the correct path of what figures she pays attention to and trusts in or believes when they speak, right? Because you have the Democrats out here trying to tell you all day long that this government shutdown is because of the Republicans, and that the Republicans are trying to take health care benefits away from people. But they can't say American citizens, because that's not what's happening. We don't want all of our money going to illegal immigrants every single time they want to get something done, right? But anyway, the whole point behind all of this, forgive me, because y'all know I have a tendency to just like go all over the place here. The whole point behind everything to me is that this country was built by people who knew how to think for themselves and do things for themselves and help each other and build, like, I don't really know how to really put that, but like make this country what it is. And here you have these little, I want to call them little minions, but I don't know if minions is a good thing or a bad thing, coming along trying to destroy everything that's been built up by ancestors throughout, the centuries or whatnot, and tear it down one stupid ass naked protest in Portland at a time, or one riot in LA at a time, one government shutdown at a time. They're trying to take all of it away, just destroy all of it. What's left then? If you don't have anybody with even a shred of common sense or morals or decency out there telling you that you're heading in the wrong direction, how do you know to turn around and fix your path, right? They have John Fetterman. Fetterman, to me, is their best chance on the left to regain just some sort of soul. I don't know if that's really right, but like the ethics, the moral compass, to get back where there's a moral compass. How about that? But instead they want to primary the man. The Democrats are pissed at him because he has said numerous times that he will always vote for people over party. He will vote for this country before he will vote for his party. If it aligns with what his party is going for, he's going to vote for it. And if it does not and it aligns more with Republicans, guess what? He's still going to vote for it because it's about the people. And unfortunately, I feel like the Democrats and some Republicans, Republicans are not angels walking around all the time. There are some rhinos, Republicans in name only, and then there are some that are misguided. There are probably some Democrats out there who aren't awful, but they're not stepping up and, and talking back against the ones that are, so it's hard to see. But you need more people like John Fetterman on the left to bring some sort of decency back to the, two wings of the same bird. Isn't that how it goes? I mess it up every single time. The left wing is like it's on fire and torched and just whatever, and the right one is trying hella hard to keep this one bird afloat, right? If you want to go metaphors or whatever the word is there, that's what it feels like, that the right is doing all the work trying to keep this bird aloft, and the left is doing everything it can to tank the bird. Crash the bird? You don't tank a bird. Whatever. But if you could get more people on the left that actually care about the country versus care about being right or wrong or proving somebody wrong or getting their way or whatever else, we'd be much better off as a country. And as our country gets older, the people in our country get older, it would be very helpful, right? If every single person out there had some sort of moral compass or ethics or something to fix what has been run into the ground over the last 4 years. Not obviously more than 4 years, but because I've really started paying attention since my late 30s, I've noticed a massive difference because of the last administration and where we are now in the current administration, trying to, pull us up out of that fire, and the left doing everything they can to keep us burning. Like, why? I saw this meme one day and it said, arguing with me is funny because I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to make you as mad as humanly possible. That made me think of Democrats. They can't win anything because nothing they're fighting for is good or right or just or any of it. So they're just trying to piss everybody off as much as humanly possible. And it's like, y'all are doing a really good job of it, and I'm going to need you to not. Like, if we could just step back for half a second and be a little less, fucked up, that'd be great. Hopefully John Fetterman can talk some sense into his party, because it's definitely not going to be Kamala Harris, who now says she wants to run for president again. I told Kevin, my husband, earlier, I was like, watch Gavin Newsom run for president and Kamala for VP again. Wouldn't that kind of like be, wouldn't you feel some type of way if you tried to run for president and that shit didn't work out at all, and you're like, I guess I'll just be VP again? We don't want you there either. But then, that we talked about before, what if she runs for president and puts AOC as her running mate? Also absolute trash. But it would be interesting if once Trump's presidency is over, he's like, you know what, California, I'll be your new governor. I'll fix this place. And he just went around and just fixed all these blue states that these people like Newsom and what's his name, Gretchen Whitmer, whatever, are ruining. Tim Walz, whatever. Anyway, that's it. I really hope that the future old people don't suck. But in order for that to happen, we have to fix them now. These current young Democrats need to I don't want to say see the error of their ways, but that's pretty much what it comes down to. They need a come to Jesus kind of moment or something. They need people in their lives who can point out the stupidity of their party. That's what they need. Anyway, I'd love your thoughts on this difference between left and right. And as they get older, what's going to happen? Because the right, as they get older, they're still going to know how to be decent humans and take care of themselves and whatever else. And the left is just going to know how to torch everything and ruin everything and get everything confused and cry about everything. Ugh, right? Anyway, that's all. Random thoughts. I love y'all. Goodbye.